What is up, guys? Welcome to this episode of Old Guy's Garage. Today we're talking about tech tips for organization in your garage and how to build a power station so you get your battery operated tools and your chargers that are normally taking up and wasting space on top of your toolbox or on your counter. And in our garage, we don't have a whole lot of space left for anything, so we're trying to be really organized. We had them up on the wall before, but this is a place that you never would think of putting anything. It's just wasted space in your garage, but we're going to utilize it. Today's tech tip from Old Guy's Garage coming up. Stay tuned.
What is up, guys?
Hey guys, before we get started with today's episode, would you do me a favor and go down and click on the subscribe button? We have a lot of viewers that watch our channel regularly and have not subscribed, and if you subscribe, you will really help us out with our viewership. It helps us post our video more often on YouTube. More people get to see our tips and our channel, which helps us grow our channel. So we really appreciate you doing that. If you go down below, click on the subscribe button, click on the like button if you like what you see today. If you've been here before and you like our channel, please hit the like button. So stay tuned, we got a cool episode, guys. All right.
So here's our setup so far. We got our toolboxes, Corvettes in the garage, got a nice Husky box, little workstation, and we used grid wall. This is a cool tech tip to hang up a bunch of stuff that normally would be on the ground. And you can get this online, this grid wall. And we just put hooks on it, and we also built a shelf and a rack setup, all with grid wall. And believe it or not, that's pretty organized. There's tons of car parts. And then over there we got our painting department, which is not quite set up yet, but we're getting there. But in today's episode, we're going to focus on setting up this battery station. And I had this set up at the other house, and this normally takes up a ton of space if it's on a counter. And this is just 3 battery chargers. One's for the weed whacker, one's for a drill bit, a drill motor, and another one is another drill motor. So excuse the mess, it's still a little messy, but we're getting there. We're about to put our Old Guy's Garage logo up there. And let's get these installed. I'll show you how I'm going to install these. Alright, so many of our garages have these kind of posts to hold the weight of a second story. And most of the time they're just wasted space. You can see those wheel cribs that I built. That's one of our best videos. I think it's at about 40,000, 45,000 views right now. But we're going to utilize this space on this pole to mount all those battery packs and battery chargers and make it easy to have access to them just to charge them. Alright, I flipped them over. As you can see, every one of these has a location to hang these on the wall. This one right here and right here. So we're gonna get some screws, measure out these distances, and start hanging them. So we're just going to use drywall screws. These are 2 inches long, which are way too long, but they will work. You can probably get them like 3/4 of an inch long, and they work really good for this application. Alright, so we're going to measure these holes, and you put the 1 inch mark right in the center, or about 4 1/4 looks like. 4 1/8. It looks center on center. Got our post. center. Alright, we got one in. We're going to measure 4 1/8 down from there. So it'll actually, I'm starting at 1 inch, so it'll actually be 5 1/8. And I'm going to make a mark, but I can't hold the camera and do that at the same time, so I'm going to just shut this off for a second and then I'll show you. Alright, I got it started at 4 1/8. Hitting stud. Now I'm going to line up those holes with those. Let's see how it goes. Alright, they're not sticking out far enough because of the distance on the back of these. So I gotta back them off a little bit. A good thing I use 2-inch screws because I gotta leave them hanging out a little bit. You just gotta play with these a little bit till you get the right length. There we go. All right, one down. Sorry about the glare. I want to close the garage door so you can see it better. So we got one down. That's mounted nice and solid. Sweet. This one above that one because this needs to slide in from above. So this one needs access from the top. So I'm gonna put this one above that one so I can have access to this. If this was below that one, I wouldn't be able to slide this in from there to lock it in. And the back of this one has 2 slots here and here. So I'm gonna measure the center on center of that and then go over there and test fit it. All right, so you use the 1-inch marker for center, and then the next one's at 4 1/2, so that's actually a difference of 3 1/2 inches if you subtract the 1 inch. So, or you just do the same thing, use the 1-inch marker and then the 4 1/2. So let's go ahead and move that over to the post. I got the 1-inch line on center and 4 1/2 is where it started. I just started it by hand. Now I'm just going to screw that in. That looks pretty level. I'm just eyeballing this. They don't need to be perfect, but the measurements do, otherwise they won't fit. So let's screw that in and set the next one up. All right, that should be good. Let's try and get the other one on. See where those 2 little latches go right there. Let's see. Nice. Drop down nice and tight. All right, we got 2 done. We're gonna mount a plug strip right here, and then we'll plug them all in. And then we'll have run an extension cord to that outlet right there. This one, last one is Ryobi charger, and it mounts vertical. So let's measure center and the center of the holes on that. All right, so if we go into the bigger portion of the hole, it is 5 1/2, which is really 4 1/2 inches. All right, let's go ahead and translate that onto the post. Put this one right here. It'll be like stacked like that. And I'm just gonna eyeball this and see whereabouts that's gonna be. Put the first one in and then measure down from there. So I don't want it right up against that one. I just want a little bit of space. See where that's actually at right there. So you want to measure to where the top portion is of that hole, because that's where it's actually going to line up. All right, so I got an idea. I'm going to mark that and get one in by hand, or putting a little mark in there. So now I know where to do it. It's right there. All right, I got that one in. Let's measure down 3.5 inches, I believe it was. We'll measure one more time to measure twice and cut once, but we're not cutting. So we'll measure down to the next one and put the next one in. So it's actually 4.5 inches from here. So that would be the 5.5 inch mark. So I'm gonna make a mark there and get the next one started. Measurement again, and I'm going center on center. I got the bottom one just gently squeezed in. I pushed it in and screwed it a little bit by hand. And so yeah, we're good. 4.5 inches. So we're gonna line them up again. See if I can show you how it goes on. Cord out of the way. There we go. So it goes on like that, and then just locks into place. So there you have it. We got all three of them installed. So now we just got to install the power strip. All right, so let's go ahead and pop the appropriate batteries in the chargers, and then we'll get them plugged in. That's a Craftsman. Not locked in nice. Here's the Ryobi. This goes down here. That popped in nice. And then this is the Craftsman charger for the actual screw gun I was using. So let me take that off. And that goes in, see the round shape? Like that. Yep. There you have it. So we got all three chargers filled with their batteries. Now it's time to hook up the plugs. Tack strip. I keep calling it a tack strip, but it's a power strip. And then run the cord up to that power outlet. So here we have our power strip. And if you look on the back, it's got holes to hang it. Just really similar to the chargers. So we're going to measure those center on center. I'm only going to do 2 of those holes, one on one end, one on the other, and I'm going to go kitty corner, one from one side to the other, and use those. I decided instead of putting it up there, which is kind of out of reach, I'm going to put it down here in case I want to use any other plugs, the extra plugs for like a compressor or anything like that. So I'm going to put it down here, and then we'll plug everything in down here. All right, we got the power strip flipped over, and we're going to go center on center for the hole. And if we put the 1 inch mark on one, the other mark is at 6.5, so it's 5.5 inches center on center. All right, if you notice, the holes are just a little bit wider than the tape measure is. So I'm going to put one screw on one corner and one screw in the other corner. And so what I did over here is I measured the right distance down, which was 4.5 inches from on center. And I just went a little bit over on the other side of the tape measure, and I should hit that other hole. It's 4.5 inches with one on the 1 inch mark and the other one on the 5.5 inch mark. Truth. No, I did something wrong. I'm an inch off. I don't know how I did. We got it on there. I needed both hands, but it's on there. It slides up and then drops down. Nice. So that's locked in. On-off switch will be right here. And now that post is getting used, and it was doing nothing before, and that is all stuff that would have been laying on table space and taking up square footage on a counter somewhere or on top of a toolbox. And now we can just have everything hanging there, and now it's a power station. Sweet. All we got to do is plug it in. Alright guys, just to show you how this works, we're going to turn the cord on right here. And everything is on. And I'm going to tuck those cords in nice. I'm going to probably use some staples and just staple them so that they're secure and there's no slack. But that's it guys, you got a power station right there on your post in your garage. It's a great tech tip, and please like and subscribe. It's probably 105 degrees right now in my garage, and I'm sweating out, losing some weight, which is good. But there it is. Check it out. Today's garage tech tip from Old Guy's Garage. Thanks guys. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Stay tuned. The next one we will be building the C10 from top to bottom. We'll be tearing that truck all apart and rebuilding it. Thanks, guys. See you in the next one. Peace.